Hello, good day. My name is KUMAR and SELVAN and my metric ID is MA20191. We are Group 1 and for this project, we have covered some part of Chapter 2, which is the context of workplace counseling. As for the introduction, there are several factors why the workplace counseling is important. First is to support the emotional well-being. Employees may face various personal and professional challenges that can impact their emotional well-being. Workplace counseling provides a safe and confidential space for employees to express their concern, explore their feelings, and receive support. It helps individuals cope with stress, anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues, fostering a healthy work environment. Second is improve productivity. When employees are struggling with personal issues, it can significantly impact their job performance. Workplace counseling helps employees address their challenges, manage stress, and develop coping strategies. By providing necessary support, counseling can help improve productivity and job satisfaction. Third is conflict resolution. Workplace often involve interaction with colleagues, superiors, or subordinates, which can lead to conflict and interpersonal issues. Workplace counseling helps individuals navigate this conflict, improve communication skills, and find constructive solutions. Resolving conflicts promptly can enhance teamwork, collaboration, and overall organizational performance. Next is work-life balance. Achieving a healthy work-life balance is crucial for employee well-being. Workplace counseling can assist employees in managing their personal and professional responsibilities effectively. It helps individuals explore strategies to prioritize and allocate time, establish boundaries, and manage stress related to work and personal life demands. Furthermore, career development. Workplace counseling can support employees in their career development by providing guidance, setting goals, and identifying areas for improvement. It helps individuals explore their strengths, talents, and interests, leading for more fulfilling and satisfying career paths. Counseling can also assist with career transitions such as promotions, job changes, or retirement planning. Then, organizational culture and morale. By offering counseling services, organizations demonstrate their commitment to supporting employee well-being. This contributes to a positive organizational culture and high employee morale. Employees feel valued, supported, and more engaged, which can lead to increased loyalty, job satisfaction, and reduced turnover. Lastly, early intervention. Workplace counseling provides early intervention for emerging issues. By addressing problems at an early stage, counseling can prevent them from escalating and becoming more severe. Timely support can help individuals overcome challenges, minimize the negative impact on their well-being and job performance, and prevent potential crises. Okay, now for the first subtopic that our team picked from Chapter 2 is the work-home balance. From reading that subtopic, I understand that firstly, employees often face difficulties to make choices between work and personal life. Challenges include time management, fitting work around personal arrangements, and maintaining personal relationships. Resulting feelings can include guilt, anger, and depression. Secondly, some organizations encourage alienation from personal life to maximize employees' productivity. Employees may collude due to personal relationship or family difficulties. Blurred boundaries between individual problems and organizational perpetuation. Thirdly, workaholism is a common issue in workplace counseling. Workaholism often represents different symptoms or issues. Attitude towards work can be entangled in other personal problems. Then is the historical evaluation of work-life balance. Work-life balance initiative emerges in 1970s, initially focusing on providing childcare services for female employees. Industrialization and economic demands influenced the development of work-life principles. Childcare facilities were established during the war to support round-the-clock work shifts. Now, let's move on to changes and revival of work-life programs. In the 1950s, women were primarily confined to child rearing and home, reducing the popularity of work-life programs. Women returned to the workforce in the 1960s and 1970s to increase support from central government and organizations. Human Resources Department play a significant role in creating work-life initiatives. Next, we'll be expanding to include elder care resources. Demographic changes in the workforce necessitates expanding work-life programs to include elder care resources. Elder care programs and referral system became part of work-life initiative. Furthermore, it will be work-life services for daily life. Work-life services are not solely related to psychological difficulties. They focus on finding quality childcare and elder care, assisting with vocational choices and maintaining normal functions. Work-life services are preventative and help employees manage various life stages. Apart from that, it also mentions interconnectivity of work and home. Work-life services recognize the interconnectivity between work and home. Different life stages and challenges can affect both personal and professional aspects. Practical assistance is offered during difficult times to help employees maintain the balance. Now let's talk about work-life balance in Europe. Europe has seen an increase in women in the workforce, particularly in part-time positions. Work-life services aim to address the social and familial cost of increased workforce participation. Various organizations and programs provide support for work-life balance. Lastly, example of work-life balance policies. Edinburgh's work-life balance policy offers childcare and elder care support, adoption leave, career breaks, and flexible working arrangements. Special leave options include paternity leave, emergency leave, and time-out leave for elder care commitments or personal development. Work-life balance initiatives are integrated into the organization's Employees Assistance Program (EAP) and job policies. So, from this subtopic, we can conclude that balancing work and personal life is a significant challenge for employees. Then, work-life programs and policies aim to alleviate this challenge by offering support in various areas. Finally, recognizing the importance of work-life balance contributes to the well-being and productivity of employees. Thank you.
A very good day, doctor. My name is Usha S.RAMESH, ID number SA21088. Today I'm going to present you the subtopic of influences on counseling at work from the chapter 2 of the context of workplace counseling. Firstly, the modern counseling developed the counseling practice through the influences of the fundamental theories, where we can categorize the three distinct headings such as psychodynamic. Psychodynamics is the psychology of mental or emotion forces. Second is person-centered. Person-centered is based on the growth and also self-actualization of an individual. And the third is a cognitive behavioral. Cognitive behavioral is an approach to overcome a problem by changing the way of thinking and also the behavioral. Based on research by MacLeod, where he wrote in his Counselling in the Workplace book, which was published in 2001, he stated that there is no sufficient evidence to support one approach is better than another approach. The word approach here refers to the psychodynamics, person-centered, cognitive behavioral, rational emotive, and also the solution focus. However, all these approaches give and provide a positive results individually. In addition, counselors are often trained theoretical model. However, perhaps there are variants on the way of applying and implementing the theories to counseling in workplace. In conclusion, as noted and demonstrated by MacLeod in his book, that is the title of Counselling in the Workplace, which was published in 2001, stated that approaches like psychodynamics, solution-focused, person-centered, cognitive behavioral, and rational emotives have significantly framed the counseling practice by providing the positive results for each approaches individually. Each approaches have their own uniqueness, perspectives, and also the techniques. For example, the psychodynamics. Psychodynamics helps to emphasize the client's past experience. Second is the person-centered. Person-centered helps to focus on creating a supportive relationship of the client. And third is the community behavioral, which is the most crucial approach, which helps to identify and also modify the negative thoughts and also the behavior into the positive thoughts and also the behavior. So counselors should practice their skills and also train themselves for each approaches and gain some experience of practice of counseling in order to meet their clients' needs and also the changes around the workplace environment. By applying and also implementing an appropriate approach, counselors are able to support their clients to achieve their therapeutic goals and also their well-being too in the context of professional or also known as workplace context.
My name is matrix number SP22032. In my presentation today, I will focus on the topic the psychodynamic approach. Psychodynamic therapy focus on the unconscious process as they are manifested in the client's present behavior. The psychodynamic counseling is developed by Sigmund Freud. Based on his idea and technique, it can be used in workplace setting with some modifications. For example, in psychodynamic counseling used in the workplace setting can be 4 features that help the counselor work in a time-limited setting. The first one is the client's expectations, second, time limits, third one is the context of the client's whole life, and also the last one is the transference. However, the psychodynamic exploration requires a regular sections to explore the client relationships. This may take a long time, therefore this makes it difficult to use in short-term contact in workplace counseling. Also, we can provide some psychodynamic counseling to a few employees who are experiencing challenge that involve work and personal issues. Let's see an example in MAFA situations. It is focusing on MAFA's angles and how it affects MAFA's working life. This focus came from MAFA herself. She wanted to discuss her angle at work and try to understand its causes. After the 12th section, MAFA was able to express her early struggles and recognize them repeated in some of her relationships at work. 12th section will be helpful, but more could have been done if the counselor had been able to offer more sessions. Further work might have led to a deeper understanding of some of the issues around being neglected as a small child and how this had reappeared in employees' experience in the workplace. Therefore, psychodynamic counselors have to deal with multiple layers in short-term counseling. Therefore, this requires further exploration.
So now we are going to move to another subtopic. The name is the humanistic approach. The humanistic counseling and the therapy are generally applied in workplace counseling. Carl Rogers described that belief in the significance and worth of each person is the key vital and key value in the counselor. Genuineness, realness and congruence, unconditional positive regards and empathic understandings are 3 essential elements that an individual should have to experience their growth. In addition, a model named the Egan 3-stage skill helper is inevitably and also essentially humanistic. This is because the client enhancing outcome is an ultimate goal for all the assistants. Through the knowledgeable workplace counseling supervision, it is possible and also able to apply and implement the EGAN model with the approach, one of the approach, which is the person-centered training. An important reminder, as a counselor should be avoid and also be aware where there may be conflicts can exist between trying to move the client forward using the EGAN model and also trying to move at the client's pace using the person-centered training approach without making the client feel alone and also vulnerable. The counselor's use of self, mainly the self-disclosure, is the important key component of person-centered counseling. Furthermore, the peer service are strongly related to the Rogers empathy theories. Last but not the least, the empathy and also experience are the crucial combination in order to make the service relevant and also efficient for the employee demographic, also known as employee population. In conclusion, we can say that genuineness, realness and congruence, unconditional positive regard and also the empathic understandings are the three most essential elements for an individual personal growth, which was explained by the legendary Carl Rogers. On the other hand, the EGAN three-stage skill helper model works efficiently along with the practice of counseling, one of the practice of counseling, which is the person-centered training. Last but not the least, the combination of empathy and also experience makes the workplace counseling effective and also relevant for the employee demographic, or also known as employee population, personal growth, well-being, and not the least, professional challenges. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nur KHAIRUNISSA binti Ahmad SABRI and my metric number is SP21021. And my topic here is the cognitive behavioral approach, page 43 until 44. Hi, for the next subtopic, which is the cognitive behavioral approach, page 43 until 44 and paragraph 1 until 3. The third main method of workplace counseling is basically about cognitive behavioral counseling, also known as CBT. The use of brief therapy by EAP counselors was examined in a survey. According to McLeod, 2001-79, it was found that although the majority of EAP counselors reported employing cognitive behavioral strategies in their EAP practice, most had received psychodynamic or person-centered training. The influence of negative thought patterns on people's feelings and behaviors is one of the CBT's core ideas. The strategy utilized by a sizable outside EAP provider, is a clear illustration of the successful application of CBT. And then, when one of their employees was downloading porn from the internet while at work, the company called the EAP for the purpose of determining if the employee was a good candidate for a CBT method. The EAP set up an assessment with the counselors. According to the examination, the employee demonstrated traits of addictive personality and specific addictive behavioral patterns. Instead of attempting to alter the addictive nature, the session's main goal was to change the compulsive conduct that endangered his ability to do his job for his employer. The employee halted his troublesome behavior after receiving treatment and he continued to perform well at work.
Hello to Doctor and my friends. I'm Tan Zixin, SP22117. Today I'd like to share about the chapter summarization of chapter 2, which is the context of workplace counseling. For my part, I will talk about crisis counseling, which is picked up on the original article, page 44 until 45. So what is crisis counseling? is a general phrase to encourage roles of debriefing and counseling for PTSD, which is the post-traumatic stress disorder. It's related to the 5 criteria in DSM definition, as well as prevalence of PTSD in population according to Scopes and Stranding 1998. And the rest of DSM definition contain following 5 criteria. The first one, the client must have witnessed or experienced a serious threat to their life or physical well-being. Next, the client must experience the event in some way. Third, the client must persistently avoid stimuli associated with the trauma or experience a numbing of general responsiveness. And the fourth one, the client must experience persistent symptoms of increased arousal. And the last one, symptoms must have lasted at least a month. So, next part about the crisis counseling is that we share about the differences between the First World War and the Second World War. So during the First World War, physiatrists listened to a story of patients who experienced military action, and psychoanalysis became more widespread. And during the Second World War, the group therapy was developed for the soldiers, and debriefing sessions was given to help emergency service workers for communicate differently and assistance in their recovery. Apart from that, there's a debate surrounding the effectiveness of debriefing, with some research suggesting that it can be damaging. However, proponents of critical incident processing and recovery (CIPR) intervention believe that it can be useful if used sensitively and objectively. Other than that, some companies require a critical incident service for their employees who are frequently subject to traumas. A behavioral definition of critical incident is provided, such as if experiencing the experience of witness a traumatic event, persistent flashback of memories, sleep and appetite disturbance, or they feel fear, emotional numbness, feel very irritability or anger, and some post-trauma psychophysiological problems. And the ICAS, Independent Counseling and Advisory Services, also has a specific crisis model called CIPR model. This model consists of 5 phases to help employees recover after a traumatic incident. And this process is very directive. It focuses on recovery in a safe and contained environment. It is often provided for groups of employees. The crisis counselor will contain emotional reactions and keep employees in a cognitive domain to avoid re-traumatization. Other than that, the appropriate individual assistance is provided if needed. That's all for me. Thank you.
Next is the conclusion. In this chapter 1, have described what counseling in the workplace is and some of the issues that are brought to counselors in that setting. In the last part of the chapter 1, have outlined some of the theories used in counseling in the workplace and the influence the setting has upon their delivery. It is a major decision for an organization to ask a counselor or an EAP to look after the psychological health of their employees. Many organizations do not know much about counseling theory, nor do they have to. It is counselors who need to know what it is in their theory and practice that is most applicable to the workplace. As yet, there is no single workplace counseling theory, although there is a growing amount of experience and practice to explore. It may indeed be that the different theoretical models all have something to offer. One approach may need a particular client more than another. The problems that employees bring to workplace counseling are similar to those in any other counseling setting. Although there are some important issues about life and work that employees bring because the counseling service is at work or is offered to them by their employer. The impact of work upon life and of home upon work is a key issue for workplace counselors. Sometimes it is heavily disguised in other symptoms or issues, but it is a constant. And if issues about work are the bedrock of counselling in the context, so too are issues about working in this context vital to the counsellor. It is to this that that one turn in chapter 3. So, employers who choose to use counselling in the workplace are making a significant commitment to their employees' psychological well-being. Although there isn't a single workplace counselling theory, there is an increasing body of knowledge and practice to examine. The different theoretical frameworks might have something to contribute, and a certain client might benefit more from one strategy than another. Even though there is no one workplace counselling theory, hence it is crucial for counsellors to understand what aspects of the theory and practice are most relevant to the workplace. There are certainly significant challenges about life and work, but the issues that employees bring to workplace therapy are identical to those in any other therapeutic situation. A major concern for workplace counsellors is the effect of work on life and impact of home on work. The bedrock of therapy in this setting, issues related to work in this environment are crucial to the counsellor as well. So technically, the employees are committing to the mental health of their staff, and counsellors need to be aware of the elements of their theory and practices that apply to the workplace the most. Additionally, crucial are matters pertaining to operating the job. That's all from me. Thank you.